Good morning, everybody. I'm looking like a sort of mythical creature. Well, it is like 7:45 and I'm ready for another day of panto rehearsals. Let's put some curl cream through this bonnet. Guys, I am being interviewed by BBC again today. What? This time it's BBC Newsbeat, who are primarily radio, but they also are wanting to record stuff for their social media today with me. I just find it all so baffling. I'm like, what is actually going on at the minute? So this time they want to speak to me about panto and the importance of it for young actors. I think they mean young actors like musical theatre graduates, but they might also mean like kids, like child actors, and why they should do panto. But they did say financially, so I'm assuming they mean like musical theatre graduates. But anyway, I don't know, I'll just answer their questions. But what is wild is they said, oh, we know you from your YouTube channel. And I'm like, what? Obviously my YouTube channel isn't massive, but clearly we're getting some reach there. So that makes me incredibly happy. Let's wash my hands and then let's do some skincare. Guys, it's getting to that time in the week where I am getting a little bit knackered. And honestly, like, my part in this show is really quite small in comparison to everyone else's part. I've been doing a lot of like sitting around and waiting, and my brain will not let me like just watch something on Netflix. I'm literally just sitting there waiting until I'm called up to go, or like I've just been like staring at my lines, willing them to go in. So yeah, it's been pretty exhausting, even though I haven't really been doing much like practically, and we have actually set the entire show now, apart from like the walk down. Also guys, this antifungal gel thing from Clever Soap, 10 quid on Amazon. I cannot recommend it more. You have those little bumps on your forehead. Honestly, I use it day and night and my forehead has never been more clear. It's so good. It's getting really dark outside. This is me with the curtains open. Right, let's put the kettle on. You might also notice that my hair is blonde. It's a little bit of a long story, but I'll tell it you anyway. Honestly, I could not document the hair thing because I was just so freaking upset. Basically, when I got it done, I left the hairdressers with it wet, and then I got back to the dressing rooms. The lights were incredibly warm and it was making my hair look like all one tone in the dressing rooms, and I was actually like really quite happy with it. I was like, wow, this is quite a big change, but I'm actually quite happy. I woke up in the morning in the light with it dry, and it was kind of ginger at the roots. I'm gonna have to put in some videos and some pictures because I was just so upset. It was really, really ginger at the roots, and I mean like dark orange, and then it was like this sludgy ash colour through the ends. I genuinely don't know what happened. It just wasn't nice. It looked horrendous. Anyway, I rang up the hairdressers the next morning and I said, listen, I'm really not happy with my hair that was done yesterday. Is there any chance that you could try and correct it, please? And they said, are you happy to have the same hairdresser? I said, yes, absolutely. I just think that she maybe misfired or didn't know how my hair was going to react. So we did a correction, and honestly, like, I spent 2 hours in the chair and it still looked the same when it was wet. And I was like, seriously, like this cannot be a thing. Like it's not nice. And obviously I have a panto to go and do with my natural hair. Like, this needs to look nice. And so she said, would it help if we put some more blonde back in? And I said, well, probably yes, because I just need it to be not sludge coloured. Like, it was this greeny grey brown colour. Like, it was, oh God, it was so bad. And then the roots were just bright ginger still. She said, you know, I'll try and put some blonde through the ends. So I said, yes, okay. So she just basically like bleaches like a patch of my hair, like up until like here. I think she was trying to like blend it a bit, but basically I had like a mushroom of like orange and then the blonde. The blonde was severely yellow. You know, the hairdresser was saying to me, oh, I know now that you like warm tone blonde. And I was like, oh, not necessarily like warm tone blonde, but just like not this ashy sludge colour. Like, that's really scaring me. And then I ended up walking out of that appointment with it wet, the roots incredibly dark because she tried to get the orange out and failed, and the ends incredibly yellow. And you know, I was trying to be really positive and I was trying to be like, oh, this is going to wash out, whatever. But anyway, I just wasn't happy with it. I ended up going to another hairdresser's in Aylesbury. You know how stressful it is when you've got something on your head that looks horrible? Like, I felt so awful that whole period of time. It was making me anxious. I would wake up in the morning, see my hair, and it would like just send me into a spiral. Like, I was just really not doing well. Anyway, I ended up waiting a week because I didn't want my hair to freaking fall out. And I went to another hairdresser's, but obviously I'm just in these random UK towns. It's just a leap of faith. I've just got to put my trust into somebody. And she ended up basically putting my bleach highlights back to the root because she said the way that they've made this orange, the only way to correct it would be to get the blonde back to kind of like cancel out / cover the orange because it was being very, very stubborn. So basically I'm back to where I was, and she put a little bit of an ash toner like as kind of a root tap just to try and cancel out some of that orange. But honestly, like, it is still a little bit orangey tone, but you've obviously got like the blonde highlights that are sort of breaking it up a little bit. She said this is not what I would necessarily want to do or think you should have, but for this appointment we just need to do a colour correction, and it will be your next appointment that you'll try and get what you actually wanted. So yeah, I've ended up back blonde. We've got a lot to do in terms of repair and stuff, but at least it looks some sort of nice. It's a nice colour, do you know what I mean? So on today's agenda, we have my interview with BBC. I probably want to do some makeup for that actually. And then we have a stagger through of Act 1, and then lunch, and then a stagger through of Act 2. A stagger through is where they know it's not going to be fluid, we're going to have to stop. There might be bits that need to be tweaked like mid-run, but the idea is to go as fluently, don't know what word I'm trying to say, but you know what I mean, through the show. It's Thursday now. I kind of know all of the songs. There's some lyrics that I keep getting wrong that I need to just go over. But yeah, running the show, what the hell? And then tomorrow we have a run for the producers. I'm gonna have my coffee. I'm going to get some makeup on my face. And then I'll be back. I want to talk to you about all of the amazing TV that I've been watching this week. Oh my God. I've been going into work with literally like the tiniest bit of concealer and some blush. So they're probably going to be in a shock when I've got an actual face on today. Let's dye my eyebrows a little bit. I said I wasn't going to dye them, but I don't know what it is. Now I just feel weird without dark brows. So yeah, maybe the dark brows are staying. It's just like the front of them like goes translucent. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not even this bit really. It's just here. You can't really see like where my eyebrow starts. Like, I'd like that to be dark like the rest of it. I'm going to the TV. First of all, Stranger Things. Oh my God. The way I cried like a little baby in the last episode was unwell. I'm not going to give spoilers, but I'm very excited and I'm interested to see where they go with the second part. By the way, you guys know that my TV recommendations are always like drama, crime, like sci-fi. Like, I never really recommend a rom-com, so apologies for that. A film on Netflix called The Responsible Child. It's about a little boy. I think he's like 10 or 11, and he gets arrested and put on trial for the murder of his abusive stepdad. And I don't think it's a true story necessarily, but it's about the fact that you can still be put in the Crown Court for a trial in front of all of these adults when you're 10 years old. And it's just looking at how that might work and what actually happens. Very good, very interesting, very gripping. And then last night, because I haven't cried enough, I watched Amy Bradley is Missing. Oh my goodness me. It's about a girl who goes on a Royal Caribbean ship with her family and she just disappears. They still haven't found her body. And there's lots of theories and lots of evidence pointing in different ways. It is so mind-blowing. I was just like, next episode, next episode. The thing that really, really got me was like her parents like still haven't unpacked her suitcase, and like they still keep her car in the garage and they keep shining it. And I was just thinking of like, bloody hell, my parents, if I went missing but there was like still hope and like still evidence years and years later that I was somewhere, they would probably do the same. That just broke my heart. Oh, anyway, let's stop talking about that before I start crying. Oh, and I don't know whether I said, but I finished The Beast in Me and it is absolutely incredible. Like, please go and watch it. It's so good. It's so good. Again, crime, thriller, drama. If anybody's got any recommendations, because I am going to have a lot of time on my hands this Christmas as Aurora. There's actually a scene in Act 2, it's scene 3, where I'm stuck on stage because I basically need to appear in this tower and I have to come on in the tower in the scene change. But the scene is probably about 15 minutes long and I'm just sat there behind the tower the whole time. So somebody said, oh, you'll have to get yourself like a puzzle book or something to do behind there. I think I'm actually gonna go home and get my knitting and do a knitting project and see how far I can get, like just in that scene. But no, there's several bits of time where I am just off stage, like in the dressing room, where I'll be able to watch things, you know, obviously not with like headphones in or anything. But yeah, maybe not today because it is a stagger through, but tomorrow I'm gonna try and start timing my breaks so that when we're in the show and I start getting back to the dressing room, I can actually like set a timer where I can actually just switch off. Say if the gap is like 15 minutes, I'll set the timer for 10 minutes because obviously there's room for people to say their lines quicker or, you know, things to be skipped over or anything like that. So we'll definitely have a buffer. So I'm definitely on to say my lines or to sing my songs or whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna start trying to time. I think my first entrance is after 25 minutes. So, you know, I could actually get into work pretty late. At the start of the show, I could not have any makeup on. And it's just finding ways that I can use that time really to benefit myself or learn something or, you know, do my knitting project or whatever. I am gonna go back to Lewis's this weekend, which wasn't planned, but I want to go and get my wool. I have bought so much wool for various different projects that I've got planned. I thought I would be too busy, stressed, etc. to do it. I think coming off the back of Friends, I was just in a severe state of burnout. So, you know, when I've not got anything to do, I'm like, like I can't relax for now. And those are the times where I don't do my knitting and I just stare at the walls and I can't think about anything. I didn't put any primer on. This is what I get. Right, I'm gonna go. I'll see you when I'm ready. Okay, this is my final look. This is the only non-casual jumper that I have. So I'll have to do. I've got like pure lip tint on, so that will fade by the time I get to work. It is 9 o'clock. I think I'm gonna get on the road. I want to take a lot of things into the theatre today, so I'm gonna just pack my bag. Already in my car is like all of my like theatre essential, like vocal things like, you know, electrolyte tablets, teas, like all that jazz. Literally nearly forgot my iPad. That would have been very bad. So I've got this makeup bag that I've stolen from friends. Hannah very kindly said I could take the bag because I actually threw out my show makeup bag because this was so perfect. So got this. Actually, I think I'll leave it at that today. I want to request new towels for the travel lodge, so I need to put the little tag on the door. It might be that I start taking skincare and stuff, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna wait until I get into the swing of things. I also still have, because we're still rehearsing, a little makeup bag here just with some like concealer and blush that I just wear like every day. Okay, I've got my keys, I've got my card. Let's rock and roll. It is 9:45 and they're not here yet, so I'm just waiting in the foyer. There's loads of posters with my stupid face on, but it's the one that was like photoshopped, so it's actually not my body. It's just like my head. Guys, it's now Sunday and I'm in London. So there was a point on the day that I was filming. When was that? Was it Friday? Was it Thursday? Like, who knows, actually. Where I just had to go, no. I simply cannot. I think I was suffering from burnout. Which is a hard thing to say, because what is burnout and like what does that look like, and is there like not burnout and then burnout, or do you slowly become burnout? Like, all up for grabs. But it was literally like an episode of The Walking Dead with me, because I had no personality. You know, when you find yourself in group situations just like sitting quiet and like dissociating almost. That's where I was at towards the end of the week. Obviously, I was having a laugh about like, oh, you know, this is so crazy, me going into panto straight away, da-da-da-da-da. But, you know, it'll be a change of scene, da-da. No, like, I don't think I realised how hard I would find it mentally. Not just learning a whole new show off book, learning choreography, and then doing the show after 5 days of rehearsal, but like also being brought into a new group of people. And you know, that's a lot on the social battery. And obviously my social battery, like towards the end of Friends, was like depleted, needing some time, and I literally had none. And so honestly, like, I went into this new group of people with no battery, and when you're trying to make it look like you have a battery, I feel like that is just like, you're going to break down. You're going to have to pull over on the motorway and just call the AA. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, I thought it best me stop filming and just like focus on the show, because I did have to get a run done for our producers. And actually it went fine. I think I had to say line to the company manager maybe twice. But other than that, like, it was fine. And the bits where I said line were the bits that I'm on the bouncy castle and like everything's going on and you sort of lose track. More on that another time. Anyway, I had my first day off yesterday, which was Saturday, and I'm about an hour and a half away from where I'm doing panto at Lewis's. So I thought, let me just go back to Lewis's Friday night. Drove here, was like so tired and just like worn out, but I was able to just get in bed, have my home comforts, have all my things here. And then yesterday, I literally sat on the sofa, watched Netflix. I actually managed the brain power to unravel my most recent knitting project. If you watch Monica Mondays, you'll know I've been knitting that stupid grey jumper for months and months and months, and I hated it. I hated knitting it. I hated the way that it was going. I was scared that when I attached the sleeves it would all go wrong, and so I just did not want to pick it up. I just did not like the pattern. It was from like 1970 something, maybe even earlier than that. It looks like maybe 1950s. I didn't like it. So I sat on the sofa and I just pulled it all back. I just unravelled the whole jumper, because the reason that I've not been able to pick up knitting is because I'm thinking about that stupid jumper that I hate. So I've unravelled it all, I've found a new pattern, and I started doing that yesterday. I also watched the whole of the Ed Gein Monster series, which I thought was a bit cuckoo weird, but like worth a watch, I would say. And I just caught up on all of my YouTube subscription people. I literally watch so many videos, and normally I'm a girl who only subscribes to about 5 people and watches those videos, but I literally went through even the people that I've not watched in ages, and it was just such a comforting day. I just switched off, had loads of nice food, made myself coffees through the day. Like, it was just exactly what I needed, and now I'm feeling ready and raring to go. So it's Sunday morning now. I am going into tech today for panto. We have to be there at 2. We've got working notes, and I think we've got like a band call, and then we're going into our first tech session this evening, which starts at like 6:30, I think. So I'll take you along for that. I think that will be much easier to film. I love a band call. It's basically the first time where we get to sing with a band and hear what it sounds like, because we've just had plink plonk of the piano. And I'm not actually sure that I will be needed for this first tech session. I don't know whether I said, but I'm not in the first half an hour of the show. Like, definitely, I timed it when we did the run, and that is just set in stone now. And so half an hour to tech is quite a lot, and I'm not sure that we'll get through it in the 3 hours or so that we have this evening. So I might just be getting up to funsies and knitting and doing all that wonderful stuff, but I'll show you some of the set and stuff. So yeah, hopefully I am coming to you with a little bit more energy today. I'm feeling so much better. And for me, because I'm so open and honest on here, it's really hard when I'm struggling mentally to still vlog. Like, you guys would just know, I think, if I was just like shutting down and like trying to be myself. Sometimes when I meet people at Stage Door and they're like, oh, I watched like Frenchy Fridays and I've been watching you since, I say to them, you probably know me better than I know myself. Because I share so much on here, and you guys are literally like watching me grow up through my 20s. It's like a sitcom, do you know what I mean? And so you're just gonna know if I'm not coming across myself. So I thought, let's just stop filming. But we're back. We're ready and we're raring to go. I have actually kind of trashed this place again. I don't know whether you guys remember, but I have cleaned this place for when Lewis gets back because I want it to be really lovely. But obviously I've been here yesterday and was just like sat on the couch like a vegetable, so there's just like everything everywhere. So I need to have a little tidy this morning before I go. I washed my hair this morning and I didn't have a brush with me, so I've not been able to do my usual like styling, which gives me the volume, because actually my hair is quite thin. I simply must try like some of that like hair syrup or something like that, because like I genuinely don't have much hair. It's just when it dries it goes poof. But I thought maybe over Christmas doing it like this without a brush will be better, because the style that I'm wearing it for Aurora, I think, for Aurora, that's a bit of a tongue twister, with these bits back, and I'd like it to look quite I don't know, not like usual curly hair texture, like big and round. I would like it to look more like flat, think like beachy vibes. Obviously we're not on a beach, but you know what I mean, like I feel like that's more princessy if it's like more sleek. Do you know what I mean? Like more close to my head. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but basically I don't want it to be like poof at the back. I want it to look kind of like my hair's been curled, if that makes sense. And so that means not putting any like volume at the root. So I'm hoping this just dries kind of like this. My hairdryer is at my travel lodge, so I can't really dry it, so I've just got to wait. This is the knitting that I started yesterday. This is the collar. By the way, it's a jumper for Lewis. He asked for it for his birthday, which was indeed a few months ago, and he has not got it because I literally hate this jumper so much. And what's making it worse is Lewis wants this jumper so bad. Like, I was like, no, Lou, I'm gonna have to give up. Like, I'm really hating doing it. I hate the pattern. And he was like, what? And I expected him to be like, oh, okay, don't worry about it then. But he ended up going, what? No, really? I was really looking forward to it. Obviously he's spending like a big part of the next year in Norway, so he was looking forward to a jumper that he could wear. So I'm like, oh, for God's sake, okay, I've got to do this jumper. So this is the neckline. I've decided to knit it from top down because that's the easiest way. The other one I was knitting bottom up, and I was doing this weird half fisherman rib like stitch. Not that you guys care, but like it was just the bane of my life. So anyway, we're going top down, which is much easier. These little markers show me where I'm going to start. Like, for example, this is the collar, and then the little markers show me where I'm going to start increasing. So it'll go like here and then down to the armpit, and then it'll be like kind of like a triangle. Then the sleeves will come up and over. So yeah, we'll see how far I can get. Also, the wool that I'm using, I am using 2 yarns at the same time. Lewis bought me this for, was it my birthday or was it Christmas? I think it might have been Christmas last year. It's basically so I can just pull the yarn and it comes with me, because I always get him to sit on the sofa with me and like pass me more wool as I run out. So he got me this cute little thing, and I love how it looks like Victorian. It looks like a Victorian toy, doesn't it? Like, I really like it, and to be honest, it matches all of the interior in the flat, so that's actually really cute. But I am using 2 balls at once, so these are both attached to the knitting, which will mean that I can knit much quicker. I'm feeling like I've got this new energy. I'm feeling motivated. Anyway, let's start tidying up and repacking. this looks like I've been on the lash by myself. I actually just love having a Pepsi Max or having a lemonade in a wine glass. It just makes me feel bougie and Christmassy. I don't know why. Okay, I think we're all clean. Guys, I ordered these syrup pumps for the little coffee station, and do you know what? I'm not sure about them. Like, I don't know whether I prefer, you know, the big, is it Monin syrup bottles. I have got them in the cupboard, but I just thought this would look a bit neater, but I don't know whether it looks a bit too staged. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know whether I prefer that it was a bit like, I don't know, looked like an actual coffee shop with the big syrup bottles. Everything's just like short and the same height. I feel like the tall syrup bottles added some like layers, but let me know what you think. I might actually just get my knitting out and do a little hour of that, just so I'm not like sitting here waiting. That's the thing, like if I've not got like a book to read or a project or like something like that, I will just wait and sit and wait. And that's why this rehearsal process I think has been so draining for me, because even when I'm not being used, I'm like waiting. Like I won't even be on my phone, I'll just be like looking, which is exhausting. Like, why do I do that? I don't know. Let's put the telly on and let's get my knitting back out. Okay, we're in the car. This is me doing my heart palpitations keys check. I am craving a McDonald's, so I feel like it's going to be a McDonald's. And I've got a new episode of my Pluribus podcast to listen to, and there's some episodes that Grace Beverley has done that I would love to listen to. So we're sorted. Let's do it. Okay, the McDonald's is secured. It's absolutely chucking it down. Let's get my maps going to the right place. There's quite a bit of traffic, so we are definitely cutting it fine. But I was absolutely starving. I needed to eat something. I didn't think there'd be any traffic today because of it being a Sunday, but I think with the rain, little incidents happen, don't they, on like the M25 and stuff. So anyway, I got the cheesy chicken stack, which is new. There's also a Grinch Big Mac, but I think the only thing that makes it Grinch themed is some like Grinch salt seasoning, and you also get a pair of Grinch socks, which I wasn't really that interested in. So I've got a chicken cheesy stack I'm gonna have to eat while I drive. Okay, we made it. I am a few minutes late, which makes me very upset. Okay, there's been a slight change of plan. We've been having notes for about an hour, and then we've been let go on an early dinner. Obviously I've just rammed that McDonald's down me, which by the way was absolutely delicious. It was like a massive mozzie dipper on top of a chicken select with like a little bit of tomato sauce, like you could barely taste it, but it was like delicious. And then like lettuce. It was so good. But because of don't make any unnecessary journeys, because it's a Sunday and it's 3:30, everything is closing, so we've all just run out to get some food to have later on. So I've got noodle stop, which everybody's been having. It's a little bit like chopsticks, but not chopsticks, I guess. But yeah, I'm gonna have this later. It's salt and pepper chicken and noodles. God, I'm doing well on the nutrition today, aren't I? So this is our dressing room, same setup as the photo shoot, and I'm just settling in with some knitting. We've got a couple of hours until we get mic'd up and things, and I'm really not sure that they're even going to get to me technically, so I think this is just kind of me. So weird being paid to like chill, but genuinely like this is the gig. I have been given my tiaras. I have two. I have a silver one, which is so pretty, and a gold one. This is like the normal everyday one, and then this is for the fancy schmancy moments. I've been given this little basket of goodies. So there's tights, a bra, there's a mic belt, there is a couple of vests, so they'll wash these basically instead of washing my dresses. And then I've got some socks for the bouncy castle. They've got like glue on the bottom to stop us slipping because it is very slippy. And then I've got some more jewellery in here. Ooh! This is different from the photo shoot, so I've got a little necklace. It's a bit iridescent with like different colours, and some earrings. It is 7 o'clock and we are in our tech session. I've been given my mic. They are brand new by the looks of it, so that's quite nice. And I've just got a little pack to put it in. We're in the opening number. As I said, I'm really not sure that I'm going to get on today. They do seem to be moving quite quickly though. I think because basically the production company that I'm working for, Jordan Productions, they do the same shows and move them around the country pretty much. Obviously it's slightly different sets for different theatres and la da 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 da, but I think the teams that work on these shows are very familiar, and so it's moving quicker than I would say like a musical tech would go. But we have got 4 days of tech, so this is good. This is good news. I am knitting. I have got quite far, to be fair. This is what we call a yoke, which is the top part that shapes the whole jumper. That's the back. Right, I've got myself ready because they are racing through this. This is my first costume. Needs a little alteration done. It's just a little bit big around here. Anyway, this is my dress. I feel so pretty. Look at the sleeves. So gorgeous, little belt. Obviously all of the spangly bits, and I've got a gold crown to go with all of the gold bits and bobs. I've got a gold shoe. I actually only wear this for, well, I have like 2 songs that come like one after the other pretty much. One by myself and one with the prince. Then I get changed into the one where I go to my birthday party, which is the one that I wore on the photo shoot, the purple lilac-y one. Okay, we're going a little bit slower now. It is 6 minutes past 9. And I still haven't been on. I've had to take my tiara off my head because you can like bend it. If anybody's got any tips here, let me know. You can bend it so that it's bigger or smaller, but if I put it too big, then it sort of like slides around on my head. I suppose I could like grip it in somehow. What are these little bits for? Do I put like hairpins through them? Like, please let me know. But yeah, it falls off if I do it too big, and then even like slightly tighter, it just aches after a little while. So I'm just gonna leave that off my head. I'm nearly on. Guys, I'm going. My first song is Nice to Meet You by Miles Smith. It's a cute one. And then I go straight into Million Dreams. Hello! We are now finished. Managed to do one of those songs. This sound is actually pretty good. It's nice and loud, which is always nice, because a lot of the time, sound-wise, in venues, you'll struggle with not being able to hear yourself and not being able to get the sound loud enough on stage without creating feedback, that like sound. So it is nice and loud. It's very echoey, and I need to ask tomorrow whether that's like an effect that they're putting on my voice, because it sounds a little bit like reverb, like that you hear on like, you know, pop songs and things, or if that's the venue, because it was a little bit like I didn't know quite where my voice was at one particular time because of it being so echoey, but I felt like really in control. But if that's intended and they want it to be this, like, because she is sort of like walking in the woods alone, then absolutely, let me just go with it. I just need to sort of practice and yeah, make sure that I can work with that rather than against it. Today's been fun. This vlog has probably been way too long now because I stopped vlogging and then carried on vlogging. If you made it this far, thank you so much. And if you did make it this far, I would love to be hyped by you. You know, the hype button thing. I know everybody's saying it now. But that would be nice. If you feel like I'm worth the hype, give me a hype. Anyway, I'm going back to the travel lodge tonight. This is how much knitting I've done. Let's just do a little recap. Hello! Hi!
I just wanted to check if anyone has any washing.
I've got it on like teeny tiny circular needles, so it's all like bunched up, but this is how much I got done. And I think it's all pretty neat. Yeah, look at those increases. I think I've done really well. So yeah, probably gonna go back to my travel lodge, do a bit of that, probably watch some sort of documentary, classic, and yeah, back tomorrow at 1 p.m. to do it all again. Let's go round again. Thank you so much for watching. Love you guys.